and Haodong from Edward Gaming. Members of the media had the option to pre-submit questions or ask them live. We will begin with the pre-submitted questions first. So first question goes to Stacks from Run It Back. The 5 players from DRX have been an established team longer than any other group here at Champions. How has this core roster sticking together impacted team success throughout 2 years of VCT competition?
네, 스택 선수 DRX 같은 경우에는 지금 함께 활동 중인 5명의 선수가 가장 오랜 기간 동안 함께 활동하고 있어요. 챔피언스의 그 어떤 팀보다도. 이렇게 오래 같이 활동한 게 성적에 어떤 영향을 가져다는지 좀 여쭤보고 싶네요.
어쩔 땐 좋을 때도 있고 어쩔 땐 나쁠 때도 있지만 뭔가 딱히 생각해본 건 없어서 그냥 뭔가 당연하다라는 생각을 하는 것 같아요.
So sometimes it could be positive, sometimes it could be negative. It's not something that I've really given much thought to, so that's all I can say.
Thank you. Next question is also for Stacks from AFK Gaming. What was your initial reaction when you learned that you were featured in the Fire Again music video?
Fire Again 뮤직비디오에 출연할 거라고 소식을 들었을 때 처음에 소감이 어땠는지 궁금해요.
그냥 조금 나올 줄 알았는데 굉장히 많은 지분을 차지해서 기분이 굉장히 좋았어.
I thought initially that I wouldn't have a huge role in the video. I thought maybe, I'd be in a couple clips, but I saw it and realized that I appear a lot more than I expected to. So I'm pretty glad and happy about that.
Thank you. That is it for the pre-submitted questions. Now we will open the floor for questions from remote media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you'd like to ask a question, and we will call on you when it is your turn. You may also type your questions in chat and I will read it for you. First question comes from Alan.
Okay, so I will ask my question in Chinese, but I will also translate it back to English, so in case any other need to understand. Hello, Hello, 你好。Hello， 这个不知道你们现在感觉怎么样？那个也是第一次到，我不知道你们队伍里面5名选手有多少人是第一次到海外来比赛的，然后这种第一次的经验，你现在感觉怎么样？
感觉很兴奋啊，但是也有一点紧张。
Okay, 我会稍微翻译一下。So my question for Haodong is, it's your first ever time to go to an international line, and there may be a lot of people in your teams that is the first time ever to go to a foreign, go to an international line event. And how do you feel? He said that it is very incredible, and yes, there are some nervous things. So 那浩东再问你一句吧，就是你觉得因为你们其实准备的时间比较短，那你在这么短暂的时间里面，你们现在也许有跟其他队伍有一些交流啊，或者什么样一些碰撞啊什么之类的，对吧？练习赛等等。那这样下来，你会现在感觉你们的自信心怎么样？你们会觉得你们这次的预期的目标会是大概一个什么样的水平？
预期我没有什么预期目标，我一直都觉得走一步看一步。
就是一步一步来，对吧？
对。
好，也是希望你们能够这个打出一个好成绩。So my second question for Haodong is, so you have a very brief time in preparing this line event, and I don't know if he had some scrim with other teams, and he said their expectation is just game by game, set by set. So just play it. Yeah. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Level Up for Haodong. What are your expectations for this tournament as it will be both yours and EDG's debut at the VALORANT International stage?
就问你说，你这次比赛，因为是 EDG 第一次参加国际的比赛，你有什么样的一个期待和预期？
还是一步一步走。我觉得最低的话，前8。
So we're gonna take it step by step, and my expectation would be like the top 8.
Thank you. Next question from Declan.
Hi, my question is for Laz. I was wondering if there is any update on 10 status with the team and if he has practiced with State of Division since coming to Turkey.
こちらの質問はラズ選手のへの質問です。テン選手の状態についてのアップデートがあるのか、そしてこのトルコに来るにあたり練習などができたのかについて教えてください。
そうですね。まあ、テンタの目の状況がかなり良くなってきて、悪化しちゃってから、病状が発動してから、病状が悪化してから6週間ですかね、1ヶ月半ぐらい経って、で、ようやくまあ完治とまではいかないですけど、まあ良くなってゲームもできる状態になったってことで、こちらに来てから、トルコに来てからはテンタを入れて練習しております。で、現在まだエクスデル選手が、どのマップで出るのか、どれくらいまでテンタが、出場できるのかと、まだ、確信に至ってない状態ではあるんですけど、まあトルコに来てからずっと練習していて、チームもどんどん良くなってきています。はい。
So Ten's eye condition is getting better and better. It's been 6 weeks since he was on this condition, and it's almost to full cure. And he's now able to play games as well. So ever since we arrived in Turkey, we have been practicing with 10. And as for Xdil, who was supposed to be the substitute, we're not too sure at the moment if which maps Xdil will be playing for. But with the practices with 10 and also the Xdil, we have been putting together as a team, and it's we feel confident about it.
Thank you. Next question from AFK Gaming.
Hey, my question is for Laz. How fruitful was your boot camp in Poland? And what is the major difference between scrimming in Europe and Asia? Like what are the differences that you see in terms of team strategy and gameplay?
ラス選手への質問です。ポーランドでのブートキャンプはいかがでしたでしょうか。またアジアでのスクリームと比べて何か戦略的、メタ的な違いがあれば教えてください。
はい、ポーランドは8月の間1ヶ月間、ブートキャンプをすることができて、めちゃくちゃためになりましたね。まあ、助っ人の XD 君が急遽参加する状態になったことを考慮してもすごいいい研究だったなと思っております。で、メタとしてはまあ、やっぱりアジアと通用するものと通用しないものが全然違くって、で、それでいて、こっちのチーム、こっちのプレイヤーたちはなんて言うんだろう、プレイにすごいバリエーションがあるというか、いろんなことをやってきてて、まあ単純にやっぱりこっちの環境でプレイすることがすごくレベルアップにつながるなというか、感じるシーンがすごい多くてっていう感じですかね。あんまり細かく説明できないんですけど、難しくて。
So we took the entire month of August for 1 month to practice in Poland, and especially with the new addition of Xdil to our team, it was quite worthy of the time. And as for the meta difference, yes, we felt that the European teams had a lot more variations in the strategies. So just by adapting to the strategies, we were able to level up as a team. So I can't really talk about any details of the strategies, but that's my overall feeling.
Thank you. Next question. Oh, sorry. Next question from Lisandro.
Hello, my question is for how long and how does the team see the group they are into, and how do you see the level of Valorant in China, knowing that you have won the LCQ in your region?
你觉得就是我们这个分组怎么样？整个分组的情况，然后以及因为 LCQ 打得不错嘛，那你觉得整个所谓中国 Valorant 的水平怎么样？
我觉得这个分组不是说很难嘛，努力一下出线应该还是没什么问题。然后其次 LCQ 整个中国在 打的感觉就是，我感觉是在亚洲的中上游吧。
So we feel like, for the group, if we do our best, we can just come out of our group to advance to the playoffs. And also, like China plays like a different play style in Valorant. So we probably gonna be like middle to top tier of the whole Asia Valorant.
Thank you and good luck.
祝你好运。
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Bautista at chemarvel.ok. This is for Laz. You were a Cypher main in the beginning. Why do you think that this character got left behind? Would you like to play it again?
こちらの質問はラズ選手への質問です。ラズ選手は最初サイファーを、使っていたと思いますが、このエージェントが、今ちょっと、メタから外れてしまっている理由について、どのようにお考えですか？そしてまたサイファーをいつかプレイしたいと思いますか？
そうですね。個人的にサイファーはすごい好きなエージェントで、今も好きなエージェントトップ3に入るかなと思っているんですけど、キルジョイが出たあたりでサイファーを使う理由がそんなになくなってきたなっていうのは感じてて、実際みんなサイファーよりキルジョイいるならサイファー、キルジョイがいるなら、サイファーよりキルジョイを選ぶっていう状態になっていて、なかなか使われないだろうなとは思っています。ブリーズとか、これくらい大きいマップであれば、キルジョイが使いづらくなると、サイファー出るかなぐらいですかね。
So personally, Cypher is still my, I love the agent, and it's still my top 3 agent that I like. And as for the meta, ever since Killjoy has joined the agent selection, I think more people are picking Killjoy over Cypher. But as for a bigger map like Breeze, where Killjoy is not as effective, I think Cypher still has the potential.
Thank you. Next question comes from Valo to Asia for Flipstrider. Almost all of the members in Boom are first-timers in International LAN tournament. What do you think, and is there any pressure about that?
Hampir semua member dari Boom itu belum pernah ke Champion. Jadi ini event internasional pertama kalian. Menurut kamu gimana dan perasaannya seperti apa?
Menurut gue perasaan kita sih excited banget buat main, biarpun ini event pertama. Jadi kayak kita bakal main game by game aja, nggak usah dipikirin, kayak kita nggak put expectation too high buat diri kita, cuman kita main aja. Terus menurut gue kita dapat advantage lebih karena orang-orang nggak terlalu mikirin tentang tim kita. Jadi menurut gue itu ada advantage buat Boom.
So he said that of course they're very excited, and since this is their first international event, they will take it like step by step, game by game, and not to put too many expectation, just to do it. And they said that this might be their advantages for them because like nobody's expecting anything from them. So yeah.
Thank you. Next question is from Valorant Spike.
Hi. My question is for EDG Haodong. So I'm gonna ask him in Chinese. 所以我想问一下，浩东选手对于 EDG 揭幕战面对哥本哈根大师赛的 PRX， 整体的现在感觉是怎么样的？然后是否现在具有压力，以及包括目前整个队员的状态是怎么样的？That's all. Thanks.
毕竟第一次线下嘛，很多东西都要自己去克服的，就像吃的也好，睡的也好，还有时差的问题。然后其实面对到 PaperX， 我觉得它并不是不能战胜的。我们跟 PaperX 在我这边感觉可能是个6-4开，我们是6。
OK， 谢谢。
So the question is for Haodong that your first match going into the group would be facing against the runner-up in Copenhagen, the paper racks. How do you feel about that? And also, like, you guys are first coming into the international event, and how do you get used to like everything? The Haodong's answer is like, so we gonna face like a lot of different difficulties coming into our very first LAN event, including like food, trouble getting sleeping, and things like that. But we are confident to take down paper racks. If you ask me about like the winning rate against paper racks, I would say like 60-40. We are gonna be the 60 part. That's it.
Thank you. Next question comes from Level Up for Stacks. Following your recent preparation and looking at your opponents, do you think this will finally be the chance to break through the semifinals and beyond?
최근 경기 결과 그리고 이제 대진에 따라서 상대 분석도 좀 하셨을 것 같은데 그거에 따라서 이번 대회에서는 4강 이상으로 진출을 하실 수 있을 것 같은지 어떻게 예상하고 계신지 여쭤보고 싶어요.
목표는 항상 우승이지만 일단은 저희가 실수 없이 한다면은 4강권은 충분히 진출할 수 있다고 생각하고 일단 어떤 일이 벌어질지 모르기 때문에 지켜봐야 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, our goal has always been to win the tournament, but as you know, it's not always as easy as saying it. I think if we don't make very many mistakes and we can play to our playbook, breaking into the top 4 should be very possible and a realistic goal as well.
Thank you. Next question from GameSpark.
Yes, question for Laz. I speak in Japanese. ラズさんに質問です。XDL 選手が急遽参加となったと思うんですけれども、1ヶ月のブートキャンプを通しての XDL さんへの印象だったりとか、チームへのフィット感を教えてください。
このまま答えていいですかね。そうです。XL 選手は、すごい若くて成長幅の多いというか、そのモチベーションの高い選手で、やればやるほど伸びるだろうっていうところで、ポランドのきっとからの1ヶ月で、すごい成長したなとは思ってますけど、やっぱり同時に、テンタがどれだけチームによって大事な存在だったかっていうのを、再確認するような時間でもありましたね。はい、ちょっと、なんて言ったらいいかな。あんま言葉が出てこないんですけど、すごく優秀な選手で、これからもっと伸びていくだろうなとは思っています。
ありがとうございます。
So the question is about Xdil, who is recently joined as a substitute. Within the 1 month of preparation, what's your impression about Xdil as a player? And Laz's answer is, yes, he's a very young and motivated player, and he within the 1 month of preparation he has improved a lot with us, but also during this time it was a time for us to realize how important 10 is to our roster. And this is it.
Thank you. Next question goes to Stacks. What is your appreciation of the whole year, and what are the improvements and developments since Masters? And how do you feel about the group stage, which is evaluated as the hardest group you are in, and which team do you expect to compete with?
질문이 여러 개가 같이 들었는데요. 첫 번째로는 이제 올 한 해를 되돌아봤을 때 전반적으로 소감이 어떠신지, 그리고 두 번째로는 이번에 DRX가 참여하게 된 조는 많은 사람들이 가장 어려운 조라고 판단을 하고 있어요. 그래서 그 안에서 어떤 성적을 낼 거라고 예상하고 계시고 나와서는 어떤 팀이랑 상대하게 될 것 같은지 좀 여쭤보고 싶어요.
일단 첫 번째 질문에는 뭔가 제 스스로는 만족스럽지 못한다라고 생각을 하고 좀 아쉽고, 두 번째는 어려운 저라고 생각하는 거 저도 맞다라고 생각하고, 일단 그래도 저희는 무조건 플레이오프에 진출은 할 거고, 만약에 플레이오프에 진출해서 만나는 팀이라면은 저는 EDG를 만나고 싶어요.
Yep. So to answer your very first question, looking back on this year, I think it was a little bit disappointing for me personally. We could have performed better. but the results didn't reflect that. As for the group that we're in, I agree with you completely that it's one of the toughest groups at Champions. Nevertheless, I think we will be able to make it out. And if I could pick a team that I want to play against in the playoffs, it would be EDG.
Thank you. Next question from Esports World.
e スポーツワールドの井ノ川です。今回はラズさんに質問お願いします。前回の大会から割に充電期間があったと思うんですけれども、チャンピオンズに向けてチーム全体でどのような取り組みをされてましたか？また、あと、ラズ選手個人としてどんなことに取り組んでいたかっていうのも教えてください。
そうだね。チャンピオンズまですごい時間が空いて、しっかり休みを取りつつ、フルパワーでチャンピオンズに迎えたらいいなっていう状態ではあったんですけど、やっぱりサンドインが入ることになって結構ぐちゃぐちゃにはなりました。正直なところ。で、ただ、やれるだけのことはやって、そうだな。他のチーム、マスターズ2に出てる間も、練習をすごい続けれたので、準備時間は他より長かったかなとは思ってます。個人練習ももちろんすごいしっかりやっていて、結構パフォーマンスも今までより出るんじゃないかなとは思ってますね。
ありがとうございます。
So the question is, with the longer rest you had since Masters 2, how has the team prepped for for champions, and also personally, how did you prep for the champions? And Les's answer is because working towards champions, we had a longer break compared to other teams. So we did rest a lot, and we hope that we'll be able to perform at our full potential for this tournament. But also we, as spoken before, we had a substitute, and it's also true that we had a lot of rework to be done. So with the hope we can take advantage of the longer preparation period and do well in the champions.
Thank you. Next question comes from Bautista at jmarvel.ok for Stacks. Your team is actually top 1 in Korea with a big difference with the second team. What do you think is the reason for this domination in the Korean scene?
네, 스탁 선수 한국에서 DRX는 다른 팀들에 비해 월등히 앞서 있어요. 그러니까 1등과 2등과의 격차가 굉장히 크죠. 그래서 어떤 이유 때문에 이런 현상이 한국에선 있는지 어떻게 생각하고 계신가요?
일단 저희들이 어떤 한국 팀들보다 저희는 그냥 세계에서도 연습량이 제일 많은 팀이라고 저희 생각을 해서 그거에서 아마도 많이 차이가 있는 것 같아요. 저는.
So I think the reason behind this, or the reason behind the big gap between number 1 and number 2 is because we just practice much more than any other team in Korea. I think I would go as far as to say that we practice more than any other team in the world. So that's the reason behind the big gap.
Thank you. Another question for Stacks. Who are expected to perform well in this competition among your teammates, and why?
이번 챔피언스 대회에서 DRX 내에서 어떤 선수들이 좋은 성적을 보여줄 것 같고 왜 그렇게 생각하시나요?
일단 저는 버즈 선수라고 생각을 하고, 왜냐면은 나이도 많이 없고 에임도 굉장히 좋은 선수이기 때문에 이번 대회에서는 지난 대회랑 다르게 뭔가 조금 만회할 수 있는 기회가 있을 것 같아요.
If I had to pick one, it would be Buzz. The reason I think so is because he's the youngest player on our team. He's very mechanically talented. And I think he's motivated to prove himself from maybe his shortcomings at the previous Masters.
Thank you. Next question is from Eric at Valo to Asia to Laz. After you successfully brought Zeta to 3rd place at Masters Reykjavik, is there any pressure for you to get higher place this time around at Champions?
ラズさんへの質問です。マスターズ1では、世界で3位という、結果を残すことができましたが、今回それよりもさらに、高い、順位に行くということは、どのくらいの可能性を感じていますか？
難しい。なんて言ったらいいかな。 前回マスターズ1でトップ3まで行けたことに関してはすごいうまくいったとも思ってるし、それだけのポテンシャルはあったと思っていて、今回、どこまでいけるか本当にわからないっていうのが正直なところなんですけど、できるだけのことをやろうと思ってます。
So yes, we consider Masters 1 a huge success for our team. And I think we had the potential to achieve that. But as for this tournament, to be honest, we're not quite sure how much we can do, but we're going to give it our best shot.
Thank you. Final question from Alan.
Hello, okay, this is a question for 浩东。Hello， 浩东。其实前面已经有很多问题问到你了。这个，那我想问你稍微轻松一点的话题啊，就是你们除了比如说训练赛以外，肯定会训练赛当中肯定会跟其他队伍有所交流。那这次你们来到土耳其之后，在这么短暂的时间里面，你们有一些在比赛之外有一些跟其他队伍或者其他选手一些交流吗？你有没有这样一些，就是或者你们队伍有没有这样一些经历能够跟我们分享的？
有的，就是 Life 跟康康还有我经常去跟 Stacks 聊天。
然后那你们有比如说你们会聊一些什么方面的内容呢？
游戏不止游戏上面啊，还有聊一些韩国那边我们不知道的东西。
Okay, 好的那so my question for Haodong is apart from scrims, you of course you will scrim with other teams in Turkey and in Istanbul. Are there any are there any interactions and communications apart from in scrims with other team? And he said that yes, there are some very interesting things like he and Kang and Laz will sometimes and Stacks will chat together and talk something maybe in the game, maybe out of the game. So it is something that is not just about the scrims. Yeah. So that's my question and his answer.
Thank you very much. Okay, final question coming from BFTV for Laz. In every world championship, in every esport discipline, continental advantage is always on the desk. Iceland was won by an EMEA team, Ascend. Do you have enough time to adapt to Istanbul and the time zone?
すべての、インターナショナル大会においては、その地域に所属するチームのアドバンテージというのが、時差などの問題によっても大きいと思います。今回、トルコでの開催に対して、慣れることができたのか教えてください。
そうですね。時差ボケは確かに1週間ぐらい、僕が住んでる日本とは、7、6、結構な差が空いてて、時差ボケ自体起きるんですけど、僕たちはポーランドに1ヶ月間先に、イスタンブールに来る前にポーランドに1ヶ月間ブートキャンプすることができて、そこで時差ボケとかはもう完全に解消されたなと思ってるので、あまりディスアドバンテージは起きないだろうと思ってます。
So yes, I usually have jet lags, and I believe Japan is 6 hours ahead of Turkey here. But because we were able to boot camp for 1 month in Poland prior to Turkey, we did get over our jet lag in Poland. So I don't think that we will have disadvantage for getting used to the continent.
Thank you very much. All right, this concludes the second press conference. Please stand by for the next press conference, which will begin shortly. Thank you very much for all the players and trends.